Antarctica, a frozen, white desert at the bottom of the world, one of the most inhospitable and alien environments on Earth. It is the last place you'd expect to hear something especially, something that shouldn't exist, and yet, in recent years, scientists have picked up strange, unexplained radio signals coming from deep inside the Antarctic ice. Not from space, not from human activity, but from somewhere down below. And what's worse, no one can explain what's causing them. It began like many scientific anomalies, due with an accident. The Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, or ANITA, was designed to study the universe in a very specific way. Suspended beneath a high-altitude balloon at nearly 120,000 feet, ANITA listens for ultra-high-energy cosmic neutrinos. These are subatomic particles that barely interact with matter, capable of flying through entire planets without touching a thing. But if you're lucky, sometimes one of these particles will hit something, like the Antarctic ice sheet, and create a detectable signal. ANITA's job was to catch those rare moments, to listen from above and record the aftermath. When a neutrino slammed into Earth and created a radio pulse bursting up from the ice. But during its missions in 2006, 2014, and 2016, something unexpected happened. The antenna picked up signals, but they were backward. Instead of catching a neutrino coming down from space and hitting the Earth, ANITA picked up signals that seemed to be coming from within the Earth itself. These radio pulses were traveling upward, bursting out of the ice like something was firing them from the center of the planet. The scientific community was stunned, because that's not how the laws of physics are supposed to work. Ultra-high energy, neutrinos shouldn't be able to travel through the entire Earth and emerge from the other side without losing all their energy. The odds of that happening once are near impossible. But ANITA recorded it, not once, but twice. Imagine looking at a sheet of concrete 10 miles thick. You throw a bullet at it, expecting it to bounce off. Instead, it passes through cleanly, and another bullet shoots out the opposite side, just as fast. That's how strange this is. That's how impossible it sounds. At first, scientists thought it might be a glitch, a reflection, an echo, maybe some interference from equipment, but everything checked out. The signal was real, and it defied everything we thought we knew about particle physics. The findings were so unusual that they made it into Physical Review Letters, one of the most prestigious journals in science. But instead of answers, the study only created more questions. What could create a signal like this? Some theories began to surface. One possibility was that the Earth has an unexpectedly high neutrino transparency at certain energies, meaning some high-energy neutrinos might pass through the planet more easily than we thought. But this would require physics that doesn't match our current models. Essentially, it would mean we've been wrong about how neutrinos behave at fundamental levels. Another theory: the signals aren't neutrinos at all. Maybe it's something new, something exotic. Enter the realm of hypothetical particles, things like sterile neutrinos or supersymmetric particles, which have been proposed in theories beyond the standard model. These particles would interact with matter differently, allowing them to punch through the Earth and produce unusual signals. But here's the twist. We've never seen any of these particles in real life. If ANITA truly detected one, it would be the first experimental hint that new physics exists. That would be revolutionary, earth-shattering. But the signals didn't stop there. After the ANITA results were published, researchers went back and checked data from other Antarctic detectors, particularly the IceCube Neutrino Observatory, buried deep within the ice at the South Pole. IceCube, which uses thousands of sensors embedded in a cubic kilometer of ice, also searches for neutrinos, and while it didn't see the exact same signal as ANITA, it recorded events that added more intrigue to the puzzle: high-energy particles behaving in odd ways. It started to look like something strange was happening in the ice. Not just a fluke, not just a random burst, but maybe a pattern. And that's when the conspiracy theories began to flood in. If something was transmitting radio signals from within the Earth, what could it be? Some online theorists pointed to ancient civilizations, long buried beneath the ice. After all, Antarctica hasn't always been frozen. Millions of years ago, it was a lush, green continent. 'Cause something had been left behind, something that's now real. Others jumped further into the unknown. They asked a question nobody wants to ask. What if it's not natural at all? What if the signals aren't being caused by physics, but by intelligence? This idea, of course, remains firmly in the realm of speculation. But it is worth noting that several Cold War intelligence agencies had classified files related to strange Antarctic anomalies, geothermal hotspots, magnetic shifts, and unexplained satellite readings. Most of them are easily explained by geology, but not all of them. Even now, Antarctica is one of the least explored places on Earth. Beneath its ice lie mountains taller than the Alps, entire lake systems sealed off from the atmosphere for millions of years, and magnetic anomalies that still confuse scientists. We've only drilled a few thousand feet into ice that is more than 2 miles thick in places. Whatever's down there remains mostly untouched. So when we detect strange radio signals rising up from the deep, it's no wonder the world starts to pay attention. Still, the most probable explanation remains this. It's a new kind of physics, something outside the standard model, something we haven't understood yet. That's exciting and terrifying. Because if these particles really can pass through the planet like ghosts, if they really behave in ways our physics can't predict, then every particle accelerator, every theory of matter, and every assumption we've made about the universe is missing a critical piece. And this all started from a floating antenna balloon over the Antarctic ice. Let us take a step back for a moment and understand what ANITA was trying to do in the first place. Ultra-high energy neutrinos are the ghosts of the universe. They come from violent, distant cosmic events like supernova, black holes, and even the Big Bang itself. They're so elusive that most pass through planets without a trace. ANITA was trying to find the rare exceptions when one hits a molecule of ice and sends out a radio burst. But instead of hearing faint whispers from space, it caught something screaming from beneath its feet. To date, ANITA has recorded to such impossible events. That may not sound like much, but in science, even one impossible observation can rewrite everything. So where do we go from here? Scientists are planning new missions. IceCube is being upgraded. New detectors like RNOG are being built in Greenland, and ANITA's successors may fly again. The goal: to catch more of these signals, to understand them, to see if they repeat, because repetition means pattern, and pattern means we're dealing with something real. But even now, years later, the mystery remains unsolved. The signals came, they were measured, they passed peer review, but they still have no explanation, and that's what makes this so powerful. We're not talking about a blurry photo, not a secondhand story. This isn't tabloid science. These are real, measured, peer-reviewed phenomena that physics can't explain. In an age where we think we've solved most of the universe's mysteries, a little antenna floating over a frozen wasteland picked up something impossible. Maybe one day we'll understand what ANITA heard. Maybe we'll find new particles, new physics, or even deeper secrets buried beneath the Antarctic ice. Until then, the signals are still out. They're traveling upward, unheard, unexplained, and maybe waiting for someone to finally listen. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like and subscribe to Beyond Stars, because space isn't the only place where the unknown whispers to us. Sometimes, it's coming from right here on Earth.